Isn't it easier to just get one investor instead of many? Well, maybe it's easier. It might be easier to get one person to put in all the money instead of getting a bunch of people to put in smaller amounts. But let's think about this from a couple different perspectives. First, easy is not necessarily the goal. Now, once in a while, you're going to be in a pinch for time and you want to move fast. But there are lots of ways to move fast, and that may not be the best way. So here are the issues that you want to think about. Number one, when you have a single investor, that single investor is probably going to call a lot more of the shots than you wish that person would. Depending on the kind of person that it is, they could be a semi-professional, professional investor like a hard money lender, these kinds of private money lenders. Those people know what they're doing. They're very good at what they're doing. They make a lot of money. That doesn't necessarily work to your advantage because they might take you out of a position where you could make good money and you end up making not so much. Here's the second thing. When it comes to voting and control, if a single person owns most all the shares in your organization or controls probably everything, then all the rules are going to be defined by that person. And you're not going to get to lay out the game the way that you want to roll out the game or roll out the business. And here's really the most important part, is you should be being paid for two different things. One is for being smart, which means that you make profit on the back end, but you also should be paid for your time, because your time is really the input that goes into this, and you need to separate your time from being smart. So if you're dealing with a single person, the likelihood of them allowing you to take, for example, a brokerage commission, or take, for example, a property management fee, the things that take all of your time, then the likelihood is very low. I mean, the truth is, if you don't get paid for your time, you can't really afford to work on more than one or two or three projects at a time, which means that your ability to really make money in this business is severely limited. So you want to be very careful that you're dealing with enough people that you're going to be able to build a structure that allows you to get paid for the things that you need to get paid for. So if you have many people in your deal, no single person is going to own enough to control the transaction. No single person is going to have enough to push back on the kind of structure that you build and the kind of instructions that you provide to your attorney to create for you. So all of these things together are very important, and they're really going to determine whether you're successful in the syndication and the fund business going forward. And if you don't lay it out properly, then there's no way that you can be successful, and you can't really build wealth. Now, you could make a living doing deal after deal and getting some guys to put some money in, but that's not really the objective. The objective is to be successful in the long term and make a good living in the short run too. And if you do all these things, I think that working with many investors is a much better plan because it gives you much more latitude and flexibility. It's not to say that every once in a while you're not going to want to deal with a single person. You might. But in the long run, you're way better off to get your money from more people rather than less. So go out and stake your claim.